Hey everybody, what's up? Good evening, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. I am blowing kisses to the globe. Thank you for tuning in. I had a little bit of a network thing going on here, but I wanted to jump. I am on here now, live, and I am going to give you 3 quick points on 3 questions to ask yourself that you can start to do right now. That'll kind of like jumpstart your thought process of how to get you to hone in on your purpose and your gifts. So if you are just tuning in, my name is Tanisha Portier. I am a global innovator for the 21st century. I know, feel, see, say, believe, taste, smell that I am here to create, to cultivate, to manifest my natural gifts and talents. And that is first to help my family and then the world. And my gifts are the things that I love to do is to create. I am a creator, a natural creator, and I like to cultivate my natural gifts as a speaker, as an author, and an edutainer. And so I love to help people draw out their gifts and their natural talents and to help them to kind of see some things that they already have, but also to just kind of continue to pull those things out. So I want to ask some silly, but yet very profound questions for you this evening. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in, because you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to come here tonight with me. And for that reason, I am so grateful. So I am going to jump right into here. And I want to ask you all, if you're catching the replay, hit replay on here. But I want to ask you, do you know your passion? Do you know what wakes you up in the morning? Do you know what you think about all day long? Those are some of the cliche questions that we hear all the time. But, what are some of the things that you just think about all day long that you really, really want to get back to? Or probably you're doing right now, but you just want to get in, you want to lock in on it. And especially when we're in, this quarantine time right now, so you want to lock down on the things that you're good at, because now this, whatever is happening right now, unless you're satisfied, a lot of this stuff is not working, right? The things that you're doing, some of us are satisfied, some of us are there's some things that I still want to go after. So with that being said, here's a question I want you to think about, and here it is. One of the things I want to ask you is this: if you were demanded to have to leave everything you had, everything you've known, and you only could choose one place to go and do one thing for the rest of your life, what is that? What does that look like? What does that taste like? What does that feel like? What does that smell like? What would that be for you if they said, look, everything else has to go. Everything that you're doing right now, you are no longer able to do it. You can only choose one thing, and that one thing only is what you're going to do to make your living. That's what you're going to do to make your way of life, and that there's nothing else that you can do besides that. And you have to choose, at that moment. You can't take anything with you. None of the rest of your skills, none of the rest of the things that you've done for work, none of the rest of the things you've done on the side, none of that stuff. What's that one thing that you're gonna do in this newfound world? And you have to take that, and you gotta hone into that. And then once you do that, once you decide, then that's it. And if everything else, because it gets real clear. It gets real clear once you say, you know what, I can't go. This is the only place I can go, and this is the only thing that I can do for the rest of my life. What am I going to be happy with doing for the rest of my life? And I can only choose one thing. Oh, a lot of stuff is going to knock off real quick, because you're not even going to give a lot of stuff a second thought. So that's one of the questions that I just want you to think about and ponder, because that's going to get real for you. Another question that I wanted to ask is, what is something that you would do that you're not afraid of being embarrassed about? Sometimes when we start, anybody who starts anything, that has ever done anything, I feel like I got something right on here, that has ever done anything, you're never like 100% good at it. Like nobody starts off perfect. Like do not get it twisted. A lot of people, so most times, people are like, I wake up like this, but there's no way if somebody got to point A to point Z, like they had to go through all the rest of the alphabets and mess some up and not even do some things correctly. Embarrassed, getting shamed about, but they didn't give up. They kept on trying. And that's one thing that we need to think about. That question, what are the things that we're not afraid to get embarrassed about over and over and over again and keep going? Because those things, when you think about it, if you say, okay, well, I'm too shy to go on a live, or if I don't like to speak in front of people, or I don't know if my gift is developed quite the way I want it to, or the things that I have, my passion, my talents, I like some things, but I'm not for sure if I want to go all in on it. You can't be afraid to get embarrassed. Like you can't be afraid to mess up. You can't be afraid to not know everything, because the people that started off, they didn't know everything they were doing. And if you go back and you look back on some pictures of some famous people, you go back and look at some different videos and shows and stuff, you were like, that was them back in the day. Oh my gosh, like whoever would have believed in them? Like whoever would have thought that this person would have been there and then got to where they are right now. So the question you need to ask yourself is, what am I not afraid to be embarrassed about so that this can help me to get to my next level? What reps can I put in over and over and over again? Because I know one day, they're going to laugh now, they're going to, crack jokes, whatever. They want to, shift out right now, but sooner or later, you're going to hone in, you're going to get better, you're going to develop, you're going to be able to cultivate, and you're going to refine those gifts and those talents. So it's going to be like, yo, like, what's up? Let's go. And once you get to that level, it's level to level to level. So you're not going to be perfect, but you do little by little. And guess what? You're not afraid to get embarrassed anymore. So when you trip up, when you fall, when you forget a word to say, or you mess up on stage, or the conversation is not exactly the way you want, or that cake didn't turn out the way you wanted, or that when you were doing some cleaning services and everything, they weren't satisfied, you gotta have some of the customers that are just unsatisfied for a long time, because everybody's not gonna like what you're doing. But when you keep the process going and you keep practicing and you keep practicing at it, and you say, you know what, this is what I'm not afraid to get embarrassed about. This is the thing that I'm going to go ahead and keep doing until I perfect it, until I manifest everything that I know that I'm able to do, and keep practicing and practicing. And that is another thing that can wake you up to let you lock in and hone in on your gifts during this time. The last thing, and I'm going to give you a bonus question, but the last thing is, what is it that makes you forget to eat? Like, to forget to sleep? Like, forget to do the things that you know you're supposed to do because you just locked in. Like, literally, when you get to doing this subject, or when you get on this topic, or when you get in front of these people, or when you start doing this activity, there's nothing that can break you. Like, you are fixed, flint, focused on one thing, and it's just like, oh my God, they gotta wake you up like, hey, like, can't you hear me talking to you? And you're like, oh, what did you say? You really for real, like in a zone. And that is the times that you need to ask yourself, like, what is it that, that people have told me, like, when you're doing this, like, you're literally in your genius. Like when you doing this is, I can see you light up, like you're just amazing. When I see you in your sphere, it's like nothing can handle you. It's like nothing can touch you. Like, what are those things that for sure that wakes everything up, that makes you feel alive? Like, oh my gosh, when I start to do this, like, I forgot to eat. Like, I was supposed to be, somewhere, but I got so in tune to what I was doing that, I didn't give a care in the world. And that's what it is to feel like when you're doing something that you love, something that you were purposed for, something that comes natural, something that you're not trying. This thing right here, when we're talking about natural gifts, you're not trying. This is stuff you do when you sleep. This is stuff when they say, hey, what's 12 times whatever? Don't ask me. But those who know, those math gurus, those are the people that are just like really for real, like on it. those are the people that are able to do like the calculations, or like medical students, or just people that love the earth, or just different people. When you sit down next to them and you talk to them, it's just something about their aura. It's something about their spirit. It's something about their character that just makes you want to connect and hone into them, because you know that they're earth people, that they're empaths, that they're just some beautiful people from the inside out. And so you know that they have that gift of connection, of relationship, of compassion, of love, of care, of joy, that are really sincere, and they don't have a second alternative or a motive. And some people just have those natural gifts where you want to gravitate. Some people have the natural gifts to be able to watch children. Some people are able to just make a fabulous dinner. There's other people that have so many different gifts, that are cleaning, or lawyers, or doctors, or just different. And I don't want to just close it in on just a couple of careers, because it can be anything. You could be the best person that plants, that knows how to plant different plants, or vegetables, or even flowers. You can have this amazing gift that everybody goes to you for. Why everybody will always come to me for stuff? I don't know why they always come for me for this one thing, but they always let me hit her up because she don't want to know about it. Boom. There you go. The people are telling you what you need to know. And those are the things. And then when you get in tune and when you get locked in, it's oh my gosh, okay, this is right here. This is my genius. This is what I do. You ain't got to call nobody else, because I'm right here. I can handle this. I'm the expert in this area. And these are the 3 types of questions that you should ask yourself to help you immediately to be able to lock in, to hone in, to lock down during this quarantine time. Because right now, a lot of things is not making sense right now. For some people, there's just too much falling, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. And we have to be able to lock in and hold on to something that we love. What's our younger self asking and telling our older self? Look, this is what we love to do. This is where we were, when we were 8 years old. This is the things that we absolutely wanted to do. And now let's draw back and let's pull back on these gifts, on these talents, and let's start to do the things that we really love. And when we get back into that area, when we get back into that sphere of our genius, that's when the lights come on, right? Those are the times where we're okay, this is what I can do all day long. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to give it a second thought. I don't have to look up anything. This is what I'm good at. If you call me and you ask me about X, Y, and Z, I got the answer for you. And those are your gifts. Those are when people tell you, I like when you do that. There's no one else that can decorate this hall like you. There's no one else that can dress like you do. There's no one else that can speak, or that can eloquently deliver a message or a speech like you can. And those are the things that you have to, what are the things that people have told you over and over and over about, but you kind of knocked it off. You're nah, that's too easy. I really, I know I'm good at it, but, I'm thinking that my purpose should be, my gifts, my talent should be something a little bit harder. We got to stop overthinking a lot of things. And we got to be look, it's that simple little thing that you can do real easy, that everybody asks you about, that you cannot live without. Because if someone said this is the only thing you can do for the rest of your life, boom, your mind immediately hits that point. Your mind immediately says, okay, well, if I can only do one thing for the rest of my life wherever I go, this is the thing that I'm choosing. That's it. You're honing in. Now you're locking down on your purpose. And now you can say, okay, so I know if I've answered that question, if I answered what am I not afraid of, question number 2, to be embarrassed about, and to continue to refine and to do over and over again, that can help you to hone in. And then the last question, what makes you forget to think, to eat, to do all of these different things? What are the things that make you feel okay, this is where I feel most comfortable. This is where I feel like my purpose and my gift and my genius is coming alive, and I feel well, and I just want to continue to move, because these are your God-given talents. These are your God-given gifts. Just like a tree stump. If you cut a tree down, it has the same fingerprint as the thumb. If you look, there's no other snowflake that looks the same. There's no one else like you that can do the things that you do. And so when we lock in and we lock down on the things that we are naturally gifted at, that you make people smile maybe when you walk in the room, when you do some things no one else can do like you, those are the things that are those blinkers. They're saying, hey, no, turn left. You're going the wrong way, turn left. We need to get you back on the right track. I know they said, you should be, a politician. I know they said you should go and study to be a teacher. I know your parents, I know your cousins, your aunts, your uncles. I know people had expectations for you, but you knew that bell that was ringing inside of you that never stopped ringing. You knew that thing that was always waking you up in the morning, but you tried to hit the snooze button on that goal, on that dream, on that gift, on that passion. You kept hitting that snooze button, but now you're quiet because you're locked down. You're locked down in quarantine, and now it's loud, and now it's clear, and now it's buzzing, and you can't shut it off. Those are the things, that thing right there that's waking you up in the middle of the night, when your head hits that pillow, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's still at me. I still want to go after it, but should I? Am I too old? Am I too young? Am I too this? Am I too that? Wake up. Wake up. Know that these are the things, these questions. Fall back on the 3 questions that I've asked. And then you just think about it. And think about what you're thinking about. And you don't need anyone else to decide for you. No one else can decide what your purpose, what your gifts is, but people can see sometimes what we can't, and they draw us back in. And so when they draw us back in and they say, hey, I noticed that nobody else can do this like you. I noticed that you're the only one in this whole entire platform that shines like no one else. And when you hear those same things over and over, those same praises, those same applauses, those same, people when they're, saying take a bow, that's what we need to hone in on. So I hope that was helpful for you. Those are 3 things that you can lock in on right away when you're locked down in this quarantine. My name is Tanisha Portier. I am a global innovator for the 21st century. I know, feel, see, say, believe, smell, touch, taste that I am here to create, to cultivate my natural gifts and talents. And as an edutainer, I'm here to express those gifts to the world. And all of this information that I'm telling you and I'm sharing with you right now, this is all based off of my book. Right here, I'm Living Truth. It's possible, recommit to you. And so when I wrote this book, I had to go back and I had to think about what I was thinking about. I had to get real, I had to get raw, and I had to really look at life the way it was. I had to peel back a lot of layers and say, you know what, am I really for real doing everything and being everything? And it's still a journey, and I'm still moving. None of us we're all still living. So we all have a ways to go. So I can tell you right now, this book has helped me to grow, has helped me to realize that I have so much to give in this world, that I have so much to share through my gifts, through my talents, through everything that I want to share with you all. I put it in this book, and it talks about the highs and the lows and the ups and the downs. So I'm sharing this. You can also grab a copy of this if you'd like. It's on my website, TanishaPortier.com. You can cop that. I'm taking some pre-orders. I did a couple edits in there because I want you guys to have all the real raw information in there. But the main focus is to hone in your gifts, your talents, your purpose, and to lock in on this lockdown because it's really all about you. All right? Have a beautiful, wonderful day, whether it's morning, noon, night, wherever you are in the world. I am blowing kisses to the globe. Have a beautiful day. Smile.